Hi guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be making this Ankara dress with trumpet sleeve. Now if this sounds like something you're interested in, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Without wasting much time, let's get right into the video. First off, we'll start by folding our material by our biggest measurement, that's the hip. And secondly, I'll mark out 1 inch for the shoulder allowance since I'm drafting directly on my Ankara. Next, I'll be marking my under bust and waist. My under bust is 15 and my waist is 17. That's what I'm marking out right now. Next, from my waist, I'm going to mark 9 inch. That's the distance from my waist to my hip, 9 inch. And that's what I'm marking out. Next, I'll take the full length of the gown. And that's about 42. 42. Remember, I've already taken 1 inch at the top. So 42 plus 1 inch for folding the hem. That's 43. That's what I'm marking out. Now I measured the distance from my hip to the length of the gown and I replaced it here. Now we'll take our shoulder measurements. My shoulder is 15 divided into two, 7.5 plus ½ inch allowance. That's 8. Now I'll mark 8. Slope it by 1 inch and I'll mark my chest measurement. Now my chest measurement is my bust divided by 6 inch plus 1.5. So that gives me a total of 8. That's what I'm marking out. Now you take this measurement from your shoulder measurement straight to your chest line. And for your armhole curve, you divide this measurement into 2. Take it in by ½ inch and connect to your bust measurement. I'm adding 1 inch for my bust measurement. I'm marking out my waist measurement plus 1 inch. Connect. I'm also going to mark my hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. I'm adding 1 inch for seam allowance. I'll connect. Now for my hem, I'm going to take my hip measurement minus 1 inch and mark it out at my hem. My hip measurement minus 1 inch. That's what I marked at the hem and I connected it. Now for the neck width is 3 inch and the neck depth is also 3 inch. You slope it by the 1 inch you marked earlier. Marking my 3 inch. I added my ½ inch allowance for the shoulder joining. Remember I said that was why I left the 1 inch initially. So I added ½ inch and I'm cutting everything out right now. Now for the back, you take the front, and place it on a folded piece of fabric, the same measurement, the same width with the front. Now the difference between the front and the back is just the neck and the zipper allowance. So there is no need to start everything afresh. That was why I placed it, and I'm going to mark out my neck. Now I'm marking out my neck. My neck width is the same and my neck depth is about 1.5 inch. Cut it out. Remember I said everything is the same, just the neck depth and the zipper allowance. Now for the back zip allowance, we're going to make some adjustments. I'm marking out my waist measurement for that zip bulge. I want to take out half inch for the zip bulge, so there will be no zip bulge. I'm taking out half inch and I'm connecting it straight to the top. I'm also going to take out that half inch to the waistline, to my hip line, sorry. Then I'll connect to the slit. I just marked out my slit length and I'll cut. So now we have our pattern, our fabric all cut. We just need to cut the lining. Place and cut. Exactly the same. Now the difference between the lining and the fabric is the lining is shorter by 1 inch, and that's what I'm cutting out now. I'm sorry I had to tear it off. I sort of found out that tearing it off gives me a straighter line than cutting it out. I don't have straight hand. I can't cut a straight line to save my life. So that's the distance, that's the difference. And that will be used for turning it in. You repeat the same thing for the back. Mark out your 1 inch and you cut. Now I'm sorry this video is a bit fast, but I don't like wasting time on things that I could easily get across in lesser time. Now to the sleeve, our trumpet sleeve. Um, the length of this sleeve it was measured from my shoulder straight to where the length of my gown ended. From my shoulder straight to the length of my gown. So that was 38 for me. That's what I'm marking out. And now I'm going to use the curve of my armhole to get the curve of the sleeve cap. I got 11 and a half. Now you all know how we do the sleeve. Though I got 11 and a half, I'm not going to mark out 11 and a half. I marked at about 10 because when you slope and curve your sleeve and remeasure it, it's going to give you 10. If you mark out 10, it's going to give you 11, 12, depending on how sloped or curved you actually do it. So that's what I'm measuring out now, and it's giving me 11. I actually wanted 11 and a half, but it's giving me 11. So I'll be curving it more to give me what I want. Now I'm going for my bicep. I added extra 1 inch for ease. The trumpet of this sleeve is going to start about 5-6 inch below my shoulder. That's a thing. Five or 6 inch below my shoulder. So I would have more of like a little bicep before the trumpet sleeve. And that's what I'm marking out right now. The wideness, the wideness of the trumpet sleeve at the hem is about 14 inches. I wanted to go for more, but my fabric was not giving me the liberty, so I had to go for 14 inches. And it came out pretty well, if I say so myself. So that's what I'm marking out and cut. I'm just trying to cross check if my curve is right. Cut two of this sleeve and you're good to go. Now we have our sleeve, we have the front, we also have our back and the linings. Now let's get right into sewing. Now I joined the front, facing the front. I joined the neck and the hem. Then I turned it out and just give it a straight stitch. I joined the neck and the hem front facing front. Turned it out and give it a straight stitch. I did this because I'm going to be hemming it. So there was no need to do any hidden stitch. The only hidden stitch there was just the hem and the neck for smooth appearance. That was the same thing I did for the front and the back. Front facing front, stitched the neck and the hem, and I just gave it a straight stitch to join. Now I'll be joining the back and the front together, but first of all I'll be joining the shoulders. This is the way you join the shoulder. Place them front facing front. As you can see, my shoulders are left open. I didn't stitch the shoulder, it's open, and even the armhole is open for this purpose. Now you bring your shoulders front facing front and you match them up. Make sure the line, the line that joins the lining and the material meets. That line that demarcates the material and the lining meets together. Make sure they are matching together. Those lines are matching together and you fold it up just the way I'm doing it and stitch. You can also stitch it straight. Now you join the sides and sleeve and zip. That's practically all for this dress. I also joined it. What's remaining is just the zip. I want to show you guys what it looks like before putting the zip, but I actually love it. I'm using this shirt for a photo shoot. That's why you see the exaggerated hand. I'm a fashion designer, whatever I do sells. Okay, so when I put the zip, you guys are gonna see the full video. This is the finished look. I made some adjustments from my wrist down to the hem. I curved it out. That'll be all for this video. Thanks for watching. This is the finished look with the zip added. I made some adjustments and curved it from my wrist down to the hem. We've come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.